Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Bros Station and the Game Bros Cast, Season 2 of DuckTales Episode 1.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah.
We're so excited to be here.
Oh yes. But before we go into that, Game Bros Station has officially launched its Patreon, and yeah, if you have ever liked anything we've done or are doing on this channel, please if you can, show your support, go to the Patreon. The details will be in the description below.
Yeah, and as we said, welcome back to the DuckTales review, folks. Yeah, it's a party.
Yes.
I'm Mark. You already heard Jared and his shilling, but we haven't heard Matt and his shilling. Matt, shill.
Hi, everybody.
That was some great shilling, Matt.
Okay.
Keep it up. You're doing great, kid. Would you like to say something else to the folks at home and the people overseas?
Yes, we got more DuckTale reviews coming up next week as well, and also Castlevania?
Yeah, next week, Castlevania drops, and you can bet we'll be here to review Season 2 of that. It's a Season 2 of Palooza.
Bloody Tears intensifies.
It's amazing. But let's get to what you really want to be here for.
Yes.
Right, Mark?
Episode 24, Episode 1 of Season 2, though. The Most Dangerous Game. Night. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
In this wonderful episode, as we get back after the high stakes of Magica's fight in Season 1's finale, we find that poor Louie is just quite honestly distraught and honestly really upset that, everyone else is contributing to these adventures, but he's kind of not, and he's, as he even says in this episode, kind of, the lovable, greedy, or lazy one, So in order to stop these adventures from happening after again and again and again all the time, he devises the perfect plan. Game night. A horror so terrifying that it has torn apart many families for generations. All thanks to Parker Brothers. Because, wow, that's actually really good. All because, Scrooge is very competitive to his enemies, but at game night, as Mrs. Beakley says, we're the enemies. So craziness ensues through that, and Donald apparently was in Scrooge's will. Good for you, Donald. And the Gyro shows up with a megaphone to microphone a phone that works as a megaphone, but also can shrink people because he believes there's a bunch of little tiny people living in Scrooge's house, and you know what that means? Adventure. Nope. Louis shrinks him, and then Gyro soon becomes king of the tiny people. The Gyroputchkians, I believe. It's a pet play off the Gulliver's Travel.
Oh,
That's
That
what
would do
is.
it.
nice little nod there.
And then all the while, Huey's freaking out because he messed up his sewing of his badges for his Junior Woodchuck thing, which is,
His perfect street.
yeah, tainted, blasphemous even. Meanwhile, Dewey and Webby are freaking out because they might not be as in sync and harmonizing as they thought they were. They harmonize a lot in this episode. And of course, throughout all of this, everything comes together towards the end of the game night when they're playing Scroogeopoly, the game where Scrooge always wins. Which a pretty funny effect. Your face is on the box.
That was hilarious.
And, it all comes together with everyone, eventually getting over their respective little hiccups that have been mentioned before. Launchpad gets shrunk too, and Duckworth bails because of supernatural disturbances.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah, but it just doesn't explain where you were in the season finale, Duckworth.
Yeah,
Just saying. But yeah, it was a fun episode, and we actually find out, again, kind of like what we hinted at with the finale, Louis is a lot more emotionally invested, I think, than he likes to present himself. He certainly feels like, he doesn't contribute to these adventures, and ultimately find out his big thing is he can strategize, and he's good at it, and him and Scrooge have a pretty nice little heart-to-heart in the end, and, it's no number one dime, but here's a golden talisman.
Right from Cold Shadow.
Right, from Cold Shadow or Indiana Jones. And yeah, it was really fun. It wasn't a serious episode kind of coming off the heels of the finale that didn't even really necessarily connect to the season finale. But it was a good just, hey, we're back into DuckTales. Here's some fun stuff. Some moments were better than others in this episode. It wasn't perfect, I think.
No.
But, it was a good... I call it a palate cleanser, I think. But enough of me talking. Jared, what did you think? Give us a... likes or dislikes, if you will.
Yeah, no, I thought this was a well-paced episode. I thought it was a good and smart decision to do right after the season finale of last season. I'm surprised we basically got character growth in this. We did get character development in it, which does happen, but usually sometimes they play it up a bit more, like it's more comedic or whatnot, or this and that. But for Louis, they did a good job with it. I thought it was very touching that, like, at the end, Scrooge is like, "You're similar to me," and everything, and like gave him that good feeling and everything. I liked it. I thought it was fun. The idea of Scrooge taking like the game night idea super seriously, like everything else, plays to me and makes me laugh. And overall, I thought all the characters interacted very nicely, and I thought it was just a good old fun episode.
And Matt, your thoughts?
Well, considering that I am the quote-unquote animator guy, I think one of the best compliments I have right now is that I think the animation is very well balanced in terms of quality this time. Because I know some of the complaints that I had in previous episodes, one time was like a compliment, second time kind of became a complaint, was like the over-animation of some things. Like I remember with the whole like when the Huey, Louie, and Dewey guys, they found out about the mother thing, and they had that really dramatic thing going on.
Yeah, Dewey had a really good season.
Yeah, Dewey. And then in the season finale, we had another character who did a similar animation thing, but I thought, okay, that was a little too much.
Yeah, that was Lena possessed by magic.
Yeah. And
Lena.
Yeah, and
Lena.
I thought this episode had some really strong keys and takes. But none of it was like overly animated, and I think for me personally, that is like the major takeaway I took from this. Aside from the whole thing where it's like Louis kind of coming to terms that like, yeah, he's not adventurous, he's not like resourceful or eager to go on adventures. He's kind of the guy who likes to negotiate around things, and he simply attributed that to laziness. But obviously, at the end, Scrooge pointed out saying like, well, no, that's actually a strength. You're good at reasoning and deducting things, and that's as valuable as the urge to adventure. So
yeah,
I think it's a really good episode to encompass different types of personalities that might be watching this. I mean, in some ways this episode kind of spoke to me on a personal level, given things that I've been going through as well, to see what other characters are going through themselves. So I think that's a good strength. Good sense of humor. A little funny thing, I was actually expecting the tiny people, whatever they were called.
Yeah.
I was actually mostly expecting them to be some kind of humanoid insect thing, not actual civilians.
Yeah, I was expecting those little, you've seen them, the little tiny microscopic, like...
Yeah, like some kind of like a terror bearers or...
Yeah, something like that.
Or even like a sea monkey thing, but on land.
Just some sort of monster-like thing.
Yeah, like an insectoid or whatever you call them. That's what I was expecting, but no, they were just regular people.
No, yeah.
Of the DuckTales world, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But they have a happy ending because they just wind up living on the Scroogeopoly board.
Really reminded me of that comic from Superman. Wasn't there like a storyline when Superman had like his old Metropolis city or something? Or his Kryptonian city, and Brainiac like captured them, but then Superman saved them, but they remained small for like eternity. So he made like a habitable place for them.
He made like a dome.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's kind of what reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was a solid episode. Really good take on some of the character, the fallout of what happened, learning about their mother and all that. Some of them coping it better than others, obviously. Solid start. Like you said, didn't really like tie into like an overall arc that we're going to go into just yet. But it establishes where are the characters currently standing right now in relation to each other.
Yeah.
And next episode, I'm sure things will kick into high gears again.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Gyro's a character that's kind of sometimes been a little hit and miss for me this season with this interpretation. I thought he was actually kind of fun in this one, and there were some pretty good jokes in here, especially like I don't know why it got me so much, but just the fact that Donald was like shocked that he was actually in the will. I was like, damn, Donald. But one thing that is just going to be a nitpick for me is they're still going on the joke of, well, no one understands Donald. I'm like, I understand him just fine. Stop with this joke. I kind of thought we were done with that. But like, yeah, otherwise it's a really fun episode, a bit of a palate cleanser. And yeah, you know what? I think a good time all around. I can't complain with this episode. Any final thoughts or criticisms?
No, I don't think I would.
I would agree with you, Matt. The animation in this one felt very consistent in terms of
It felt
quality.
balanced for like economically efficient for making a animated 2D show, but it also wasn't flashy, stiff, or anything like that.
Speaking of a little bit of tricks in the animation, Some intro got a little updated in some parts. There's a Magica in the finale there. I think she bumped out Mark Beeks in the
I believe so. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
roster there. Not maybe in the chase thing, but in like the part where the silhouettes pop up behind Scrooge. But then also the laser part isn't Little Bulb anymore. Now it's Gizmo Duck shooting the laser.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that.
Look for little fun touches, I guess. I was kind of hoping they would do something like that as more things kind of got revealed, and it looks like they might do that. I'm really happy. I thought they were even going to get rid of the dragon and like the mummy stuff, since that's already been done. But I guess that's kind of generic enough that they could keep it without too much.
And there's a lot going on in those scenes anyway, where it's we could reanimate a new thing to sync with the music, but it works for the general tone of the show. So
who knows? By the time this series is over, we might have a fun little trivia just of how the intros changed and evolved with the show. I kind of like that. It's not something we get with a lot of Western animated shows too much.
No, you don't.
But
the other thing I like that I kind of just thought about right now while we were talking is, so at the end of it, Scrooge, he has a talk with Louis, like I said, and tells him that Della, their mom, actually could do the same thing, where she could see the scenario, see all the variables, and work out a plan to try execute perfectly to get them out safely. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's sort of the, who has sort of got the, not the elements, but the, stats of whom. Because, Dewey and Scrooge, they always have that, adventurer kind of thing with them. I never really thought of Huey as similar to Donald, but maybe in some regards, if Louis has the kind of the see-it-all kind of thing like their mom did. But, still very fun. I had a lot of fun with this episode. I thought it was good, and yeah, I'm excited to see where season 2 takes us.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Jared, because next week we have The Depths of Cousin Fethry, who I believe is going to be voiced by Tom Kenny.
Oh, hey.
Fantastic.
Big time debut for a long-time comic book character. Well, everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Tune in next time when we'll talk about that. And next week we'll also have Castlevania 2. Like I said, it's a two-a-palooza out here in the internet.
Woo!
So, Jared, would you like to say the magic words?
Of course. So tune in next time, everybody, when we talk about something, talk about games, movies, TV, whatever we feel like talking about and doing. And yeah, y'all have a great day. To be continued. I'm a ghost still.
I'm a shopping list.